Joining Bob on set is Caroline Polisi, a criminal defense attorney and a lecturer in law at Columbia Law School. Good morning to both of you. Caroline, I want to start with you. The real verdict, Donald Trump says, will be on November 5th. If he becomes president again, I think some voters on both sides will ask, is he going to be in jail while being president? Is jail time on the table here?
It is on the table. I would say highly unlikely to that question. 34 felony counts, each one of which does carry with it the possibility of up to 4 years in prison. No mandatory minimum, meaning no jail time could also be a sentence. I don't see personally him being sentenced to prison time. The judge could impose a variety of different things, home probation, for example. He could serve it in Mar-a-Lago with an ankle bracelet. He could serve it non-concurrently, meaning he could go on weekends, for example, to some sort of custodial sentence. I personally think there will be heavy fines and some sort of heavy probation associated with this sentence.
And he can be president while on probation?
Absolutely. There's nothing in the Constitution that prohibits it.
Bob, what are your sources telling you about how the former president, who did not react in court, is reacting behind the scenes?
There's a lot of uncertainty among former President Trump's inner circle because they believe your point that he's unlikely to maybe face jail time. At the same time, they were inside that courtroom. They saw Judge Juan Merchan lash out at one of the defense witnesses, Bob Costello, cleared the courtroom. Tensions are high between the judge and the Trump legal team, so nothing's being ruled out by the Trump side. And that could really make Trump pay a huge political cost this summer. The Republican National Convention, where he's trying to get a jolt to get into the fall campaign. Will he show up for that first debate? How will this affect his running mate? So many questions, so many variables for the presumptive Republican nominee.
Caroline, from a legal perspective, are there grounds for appeal here, and what's likely to be the outcome?
There absolutely are grounds for an appeal here, both on the legal side as well as how the trial played out. We talked a lot about the way this statute is, structured, that while the jury was required to be unanimous with respect to all elements of the offense, there was that underlying object crime of the New York State conspiracy to violate election laws, right? The $130,000 payment. And the unlawful means that was accomplished. The jury didn't have to be unanimous on that decision. Some constitutional scholars say that there are due process issues with that in terms of a defendant being put on notice with what exactly he or she is being charged with. That could take years. I always refer to the Harvey Weinstein verdict, which was in this state as well, 4 years from conviction to being overturned. It's a long road. The wheels of justice move slowly, but we'll get started pretty quickly with that. The Trump team has come out saying they're moving forward.
Beyond this moment, how does this set the stage for those next 3 cases, Georgia, Florida, and in the nation's capital?
Yeah, well, this one is different. It's unique because it is a state case. It is the only case that if he does become president again, he cannot pardon himself for. So that is a unique twist here. Many people are saying this is likely the only case that is going to come to an end, which already has before the election. So I think it doesn't bode well.
Bob, political conventions in recent decades have been kind of boring, perfunctory affairs, lots of ceremony, balloons, big speeches. But now we've got Donald Trump being sentenced just days before the Republican convention. What's going to happen in July?
Usually when there's a scandal, it causes a reckoning to happen inside the party. Think about Watergate in the 1970s with Richard Nixon. Republicans got uneasy about President Nixon's conduct. What did you see this time around? I stood in that park for 6-7 weeks for CBS. We saw red tie Republican after red tie Republican come there and show their solidarity with Trump, including the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. And we're seeing Republicans across the board saying they're sticking with the nominee, even though he's a convicted felon. That tells you Trump has a grip on power, and that's going to affect the entire campaign. Look for the Biden campaign still to bring up Trump's conduct, maybe not to get into the specifics of this case, but to raise issues about January 6th, American democracy, and Trump's conduct, and say, do you really want this person in power in the White House?
Bob Costa, Caroline Polisi, always great to have you both. Thank you very much.